Every single dream we have, whether it's building a company from scratch or just getting in the best shape of your life, it has a price tag. But hold on, this isn't about making yourself miserable or depriving yourself of everything good. Today, we're diving into the sacrifice code, a really powerful strategic way to think about turning that price into your absolute greatest investment. I want you to really think about that for a second. That big goal you've got in your head. Picture it like something amazing sitting on a store shelf. You see the shiny packaging, you see the promise of what it can do for you, but are you maybe kind of deliberately not looking at the price tag? Are you avoiding the real cost to actually make it yours? And this quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? See, failure usually isn't some big, dramatic explosion, not at all. It's more like a quiet, slow leak. The dream just sort of deflates over time because we're not willing to even look at, let alone pay, the price that's listed right there in that second column. Okay, so let's dig into this idea of the unseen ledger. I want you to think of it like a universal accounting system for all growth, for all success. And the thing is, it keeps absolutely perfect, totally impartial books. And here's the deal. You can't cheat this ledger. It's non-negotiable. For every single gain, for every achievement that we admire in other people, there's always a matching entry on the other side of the page. A payment was made. And just getting this, just understanding this fundamental balance, that is the absolute first, most critical step to achieving anything that really matters. This breakdown really highlights our collective blind spot, doesn't it? We are experts, absolute pros at seeing the assets on the left, the wealth, the status, the public praise. We see that loud and clear. But we're almost totally illiterate when it comes to reading the right side of the ledger, the sleepless nights, the invitations we have to turn down, the comforts we have to give up. That's the stuff that actually paid for everything in the first column. So why? Why is looking at that second column so incredibly difficult? Well, it actually comes down to how our brains are wired. There's a powerful cognitive bias called loss aversion. And what it means is that the pain of losing something feels about twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining that exact same thing. So our brain doesn't see sacrifice as a strategic investment. Our ancient primal brain just screams, danger, loss. So what exactly is the price we have to pay? Well, it's not about money. The unseen ledger, it doesn't deal in cash. It operates on three totally distinct currencies of growth, and we have to get smart about how we spend them. And this, right here, this is the big reframe. This is where we stop seeing sacrifice as a loss and start seeing it as a trade. You're not losing comfort. You're trading immediate, easy gratification for the compounding interest of discipline. You're not losing friends. You're trading misaligned connections for the space to find your real tribe. And the biggest one of all, you're not losing yourself. You're trading your old, comfortable story for your own evolution. It's an upgrade. Okay, so the theory is great. It makes sense. But how do we actually do this stuff? How do we put it into practice? That is exactly where the 4-step sacrifice code comes in. It's a practical, actionable framework you can start using, like, today. And here it is, the whole code at a glance. It's a clear 4-step loop you can run over and over. First, you get crystal clear on the cost. Second, you strategically let go of the things holding you back. Third, you take that new, freed-up energy and reinvest it. And fourth, you build a system to deal with the tough days, because they will come. So step 1 is all about demystifying the price. You know how the monster under the bed is always scarier in the dark? This is about turning on the lights. You literally create your own dream ledger, and you write down the specific, manageable trade-offs. And just like that, what was a huge, paralyzing fog of fear becomes a simple, actionable map. This brings us right to step 2, the strategic release. Once you know the cost, you gotta decide what you're willing to pay with. I love this metaphor of your life as a ship. Some things are sails, pushing you forward, but a lot of things, often disguised as comfort, are really just anchors, holding you in place. It's time to start cutting those ropes. And let's be honest, for most of us, our daily energy budget probably looks something like this, right? So much of our finite energy just gets drained by those anchors, worrying, mindless scrolling, getting caught up in drama. And just look at what's left over for the actual goal. It's just a tiny sliver. But this is the magic of step 3, energy reallocation. When you cut those anchors, that energy doesn't just vanish. It comes back to you. And now you can consciously reinvest it into things that give you a huge return, like deep work, strategic learning, and building real connections. You essentially become the chief financial officer of your own energy. But look, this process is going to get hard. That's not an if, it's a when. And that's exactly why step 4, the resilience ritual, is so important. This isn't about trying to avoid pain, it's about preparing for it. It's like you're building yourself an emotional first aid kit before you need it, so when you feel like giving up, you have a pre-planned set of tools ready to go. So what happens when you do this consistently, when you keep applying this code? Well, you start to create this kind of internal alchemy. You literally start transforming the raw material of struggle and pain into real personal power. This is what we call the identity shift, and it's huge. You can't just think your way into becoming a more disciplined or creative person. It doesn't work. You have to act your way into it. Every single discipline choice you make is like casting a vote for the person you want to become. You choose the workout over the couch? That's a vote for, I'm a healthy person. These little votes compound over time, and they literally forge a new you. And eventually, you start to collect the discipline dividend. At first, yeah, discipline choices can feel like a prison. They feel restrictive. But if you stick with it, something incredible happens. What was once hard becomes automatic. It becomes your new normal. And in that moment, the prison bars dissolve and they become wings. That's true freedom. And all of this leads to the ultimate prize. And it isn't the goal itself. It's something much, much deeper. It's sovereignty. It's true self-ownership. It's that unshakable core belief that you are the architect of your life, not just a victim of your circumstances. So let's recap the code one last time. It's a simple but powerful loop. 1, get clarity, define the real cost. 2, release the anchors holding you down. 3, reallocate that energy where it really counts. And 4, build your resilience for the journey ahead. Anyone, and I mean anyone, can start this cycle today. Look, the path of least resistance. We all know where that leads. It leads to a place filled with regret. But you have the code now. You understand how the ledger works. So the only real question left is this. The ledger is open right now, waiting for your entry. What is the one small, conscious trade you will make today to invest in the person you are becoming? The choice, as always, is yours.